So let's do a contraction lower utility arch. So the first loop is close to the meso wing of the bracket of the second bicuspid. Okay, make a mark. And pay attention in your manual that the first loop must rotate outward. So the idea is to put the loops out and out to avoid to touch the soft tissue. If you rotate the loops in and in, it will touch the gingiva. So must rotate out and out. 2 loops. So the first loop with the omega loop plier, the I350, I'm going to rotate this loop outward. Like this. It's just one single simple loop. We don't need to make double loops. It's just one. Like this. Okay? With the nuns, you can measure the height. So now it depends on the patient condition. The taller you make, more flexibility you have. So it's up to you. Now you check. Usually the step number 3, it's okay. Good? So the next loop, you rotate distal and forward, okay? So I make a mark here, just a mark, just to measure the height. And I will make that posterior loop. This arch is very, very useful to make retractions, okay? It's very, very useful. It's a very good arch from Bioprogressive. So we are working 16-16 below July, and having in mind, of course, that we are working in 018 slot bracket. So insert into the auxiliary tube on the meso area of the bicuspid. Now, the next step is to make this loop here. Okay? This loop now will be very close to the distal of the lower incisor, lower lateral incisor bracket. Here in the book, you have approximately the sizes of each portion, but I believe it's easier if you can measure in the mouth. So you come here, close to the incisor bracket, and you make a mark. Check if the mark is good. Now pay attention that I will rotate forward, okay, but inward. So here, rotate it forward, but inward. Adjust the loop if you commit some mistakes like I'm doing here because of the camera is too close and it's hard to move the wire. Like this, okay? Now we have this condition. Okay. Now I will finish the last loop, rotating distal and inward as well. So grab the nuns, measure the step number 3, the same step, work posteriorly. You must keep going the same height. Take the plier, rotate in, like this. So now I have this side ready. It's very springy, you see? I will insert the wire into the incisors bracket now, so it must be previously aligned to receive a square wire. Mark distal to the bracket. Like this. Take on the mark. Now I will rotate outward because I need to keep it out. Okay, good. Adjust. Again, always check for torquing, for the alignment of your arch. Okay. With the nuns, step number 3, always, because we start with 3, you need to finish with 3. Make a mark and rotate forward, mesially, and out. Work like this. So we have this one ready. So we need just to finish the posterior. Insert it into the brackets. And this moment is very useful if you give a first contour of the arch. So take the De La Rosa and be careful to contour to the good side, okay? If I contour like this, I screw up everything, okay? Be careful. The best De La Rosa is a large and almost flat. Okay? To work with blue July is much easier if you work with a large and barely flat De La Rosa. This plier you can find in a company called Orthoply. RMO has one, okay, but it's too narrow. You can work with that plier, but you suffer a little bit more. This is easier. This is easier. So now give art shape and cut the excess, but before you cut, give a little bit of extra wire here, make a loop, little loop, this way you doesn't touch the gingiva or the cheek of your patient when you come to mark in the mouth. So go back to your patient, insert the whole thing, okay? Come here, insert into the incisors. Sorry, upside down. I will edit the video. Insert the wire. Into the slots. Be sure it's properly inserted. Come here and we will mark the meso of the second bicuspid bracket. This is very, very important because if you make it short, you have a small amount of retraction. If you make this loop close to the bracket of the tube of the molar, it's not good amount of retraction. And now we will finish the arch. So it's not hard, okay? It's pretty easy, but it's very, 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 very useful. So you need to follow here. So the loop is distal. We will also make the loop distal. And we will rotate inward. So like this, take the nuance, step 3, and we will rotate the final loop inward as well. Adjust. Nance is good for that. I still need better adjustment here. Now I have the arch ready. Okay, how can I activate and work with this guy here? So once you install this, is an utility arch with loops. It's a variation of the utility arch with Wingart. You can insert better than if you work with your fingers. Now it's fully inserted. To activate for retraction is just come here, pull back, you see that you distort the loops, pull back and cinch, pull back and cinch. The problem is when I make this activation, there is a tendency to extrude incisors and also to verticalize them, upright them. If this is what you want, good. But if you don't want, we need to place some activations to avoid the extrusion of the incisors and the verticalization, the upright. What can we do? Place to the arch, tip back like this. Okay, once you put tip back, you have intrusion. And when you retract, there's a tendency to extrude. So one compensates the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you activate tip back, there's a tendency for extrusion. And I tip back, I compensate this tendency, and one force annulates the other. And I have bodily retraction without extrusion. Another important activation here is to activate toe in. Toe in. Why? Because when I am activating on the molar area, there's a tendency of mesorotation of the molar. So the molar tends to mesorotate. So if I put a little toe in, I avoid this mesorotation. So those are the two major activations that you can do. Tip back, toe in, and now you retract. It's always advisable to lace the brackets with metal ligature. So lace them together, okay, and tie, because this way you keep the roots parallel. You keep the roots parallel and avoid, when you retract, the roots misalign. It's easier to control. So you pull, cinch until you finish your retraction. If you feel, because once you insert and activate, you're going to be tied to the molar tooth. It's harder to remove because you distort the wire. If you want to make some extra activations inside the mouth, this is also possible. For example, if you feel that it's needed a little bit extra tip back because during the movement you're doing to retract, you are seeing some extrusion, you can activate in the mouth. Also, it's advisable to have here sectionals to stabilize. Get grippy here. Okay, good. Sectionals to stabilize the bicuspid. So this is a final retraction. If you have distracted bicuspid, for example, for certain reason, I don't know, I don't want to debate this, why you struct or not at this moment. So if you have structed for a certain reason, you can activate this lateral bridge here. So you can come here close to the loop and activate extra tip back. Both sides. You can come here close to the omega, to the distal loop, and activate extra tip back. Very similar to the regular utility. And you pull here and cinch, and you retract. A super easy to work and very useful arch for incisors retraction.